Welcome back. So in the previous episode, we actually seen how to do all this. First of all, we fetched the data from the API, which was this one, API.quotable/random. We actually managed to display this quote in our app, and then we actually have it on. When we click the generate quote button, it generates a new quote, and then we added one brand new functionality for copying to the clipboard. And when you click this, it actually copies this text it has here and copies it on the clipboard so that you can share it with your friends, or it can be easy for you. And that is already a great app where someone can visit your website, he generates a quote, and then he copies the quote and he can share it with your friends. Take it one more step further when someone wants to share this on Twitter. Okay, so now let's add one more button. Okay, let's add one more button, and I'm just going to add this button. So just go here inside the buttons. Okay, inside the buttons, so we already have the two buttons and this second button. I'm just going to add a third button. Okay, actually this one is going to be an anchor tag, so I'm just going to make it anchor tag just like that. And here I'm just going to say share or tweet this. Let's say tweet this quote. You could just even put like tweet this quote just like that. Okay, so you can see it is an anchor tag. So I'm just going to make it look nice, and you can just first go to flat icon and get a Twitter flat icon. Let's get a Twitter icon. Okay, or you could just even go to box icons. You know how we like box icons, so you can just go to box icons, and then from the box icons we can get the SVG for the Twitter. Okay, we can just get the SVG for Twitter, because the vector icons, they won't give us that, but the flat icons don't give us the SVG for free. So you can just go to box icons. Let's just wait for a second for it to load, and then we get the Twitter. So I'm just going to say Twitter. Okay, I'm just going to search for Twitter, and let's see Twitter, and down here we have actually Twitter. Just click on this icon just like that. Click on this, it should show up somewhere here. A minute. Okay, it is here. So we can just get SVG code. Just simply click on SVG code and it gives us the SVG. So inside here, I'm just going to paste it. So down here, and we could even just remove this one. We simply leave the icon for Twitter. So they give us this SVG. Okay, that is cool. I'm just going to give this one a class of BTN first of all, and then I'm just going to say BTN tweet. So like that, BTN tweet, and let's see how it is looking like before we add more things. Okay, it is actually looking great. It's already looking great. You just give it some color. Okay, so I'm just going to go here. It looks like something wrong. I don't know what is that, but it seems everything is okay. Okay, so let me just go ahead. Actually, you can just even remove this transform, I guess, this one and even this one. I feel like they are not doing anything. So let's just go back to styles here. So let me just say .btn tweet. Okay, btn tweet. First of all, let's give color of blue. So I am not sure of the really Twitter color. You can just go ahead and find this the Twitter color, and it seems the color is not changing. We can change it from here. Let me just go down here to this blue, bring it this way. You can just change it actually from here. Let's see. Yep, so that one is good enough, and you see I've changed it from here, so we don't need to give it any more things. And to me it looks already looking nice. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to say text decoration none, text decoration none. Okay, that's the only thing I can do to this, otherwise it is looking already great. Okay, so now let's see how do we tweet, how do we click on this button and it copies this. Look at what we are going to do, guys. We want to generate the quote, and after we click on tweet, and then it just gets this quote here, and then it opens Twitter, and then it just makes this one as a tweet. Look at that, guys. Look at that. So what you're just going to do is we can just first get this button first of all. So it is this BTN tweet, and I'm just going to give it also an ID of tweet, just like that. So let's select this in our JavaScript. So down here, I'm just going to say const tweet BTN, tweet BTN is equal to document dot query selector, and it is the tweet. Okay, hash tweet, which is cool. After finishing that, we have our button. So let me just first minimize this function and also minimize copy to clipboard. Now we are on the tweet. So how are we going to handle the tweet button? Okay, so first of all, let's first say on a click. So we are just going to write an event, listener. I don't know if remember this this tweet here is actually simply copying or getting this text and simply actually adding it to what? Adding it to this link. So you can see we have a link here. This is actually an anchor tag. So what we can do is we might not even necessarily add an event listener here. Okay, we just simply, after generating our tweet, and then we set it here. We just simply set it. Here is just a matter of setting it here. So okay, so what I'm just going to do is where we have generate, where? Here, okay, in the fetch data. So I'm just going to go inside the fetch data. So at this point where we have the quote generated, we even have the quote here. Okay, we have the quote generated very well here. So what we want is their number of steps. Okay, so we have our tweet button already. So also the tweet text, we have it here. It is this quote. This is the text we want to tweet. We also actually have it, but the only problem is we want to actually encode this. Okay, when you are going to share the content like on Twitter, that text has to be encoded. This text here has to be encoded. So I'm just going to come down here. Okay, so here is this is tweet functionality. So what you're going to do first is actually get the tweet text. So I'm just saying const tweet text. Okay, tweet text, tweet, then text is equal to Now we use what we call actually it is encode. Okay, it is this encode. There is this encode URI, but then we want this one encode URI component, and then we pass in this quote that we want to actually encode. So let me paste this. Now if you don't know what this one does, it simply replaces spaces. You can see in this quote there will be spaces. Now if you are going to share it in a URL, if you are sharing content in the URL, then we cannot afford to have these spaces. So to replace these spaces, you see inside here, we use this encode URI component, and then we pass in the quote to encode it. So let me just console.log also this tweet text, so that you see what actually is happening. So now I'm just going to generate the tweet. And I can first even remove, where is it? Okay, actually I don't have it. That is great. So let's just generate. Let me refresh. Okay, then generate. Okay, so you can see, we aim above the mark to hit the mark. And you see here, look guys, it has converted this, or it has encoded this. So you can see whenever we have space, it actually puts there %20. %20 is replacing all those characters with %20. So this one now is an encoded tweet, or encoded this one. Now we can now afford to use it in a URL. Okay, so now what we want is to generate a tweet URL. Okay, so down here I'm just going to say const tweet URL is equal to, so let's first get this. It is HTTP. Now HTTP, yes, twitter.com, I think it is last intent. I think that's intent, and then after that we can access a tweet, stock tweet. Yeah, so you can see stock tweet, and then we can actually append this text. So if you don't want to do this, we can actually use this backticks. Let me first remove this. We could use the backticks like so, and then this one we can actually embed it just like that. So this one becomes our URL, this one. Okay, I want to console.log this URL, guys. So let me just say console.log tweet URL, just like that. So when you're just going to tweet, it is actually on twitter.com stroke intent, then stroke tweet. So this one gives you access to the tweet, and then question mark, then question mark is like we are appending this text here. We are appending this text, and the text we are appending is equal to this tweet text here, the encoded one. So let me just console.log tweet URL. So just go back. So generate. So if I generate, you can see now the tweet. Guys, look at the tweet. So it is twitter.com stroke, and then it has tweet. Text is this one. A business that makes nothing, but money is a poor business. You can see it has put in a URL. So the only thing now I want is set this URL. We set it as the URL or the href of this anchor tag, which is actually very easy. After that point, now down here, we already selected our button, which was tweet button, this one. Okay, remember this is a link. In fact, let's just say tweet link. Okay, tweet link, since it is a link. So this tweet link, let me just get it, tweet link. And down in here, I just want to say come here, and I say tweet link dot set attribute. So we want to set the attribute. and the attribute we want to set is actually href, and we want to set its value to this tweet URL. So we are accessing this. If you go back, we are trying to access this value here. This href, we are setting it to be actually this tweet, to be this tweet URL. Okay, and at that point it should be already looking great, guys. So let me just go back here. Okay, let me just remove this text that we put there, so there is nothing here. So generate quote, and take some time, then it generates this link. Now what I expect is this link already must be here. So if I hover here, you can see, guys, when I hover, look at the corner down. So I want to just click here, click this, and it is loading, guys. Let me just first close this. It is loading and it is taking me to Twitter, guys. It is taking me to Twitter. Let's see. Okay, everything is okay. They are asking me to log in. I'm just going to continue here. So make sure you are just like logged in, guys. Okay, and let's see. I don't know if it will remember, but I'll just click again to confirm. And it is saying tweet. Let's just wait. Skip for now. Okay, it has managed to log in. Let me go back first of all to our app. I'm just going to access our app again, and this is why let me just first put here 5500. Okay, and let me just first go here on this. You can't just say target, so let's just say target, and let's set it to blank, so that it actually opens a new tab. It shouldn't just use the tab for our application to do that. Let's first go back then. If that is the case, just simply go back to our app. Okay, I don't know if it is going to... Wow, it is here, guys. Look at that. When the world is so complicated, the simple gift of friendship is within all our hands. And I can simply tweet it, guys. I can just simply tweet, and you can just even confirm by going on my Twitter handle and confirm that actually it has been tweeted. And it is here. When the world is so complicated, the simple gift of friendship is within all our hands. This is really nice, guys. I like it. I like this, guys. Okay, I'm just going to stop this, run it again to get access to the live server. Okay, it has opened. Let me generate another one, and just a minute, a second, and this is why you put the loader. Okay, and generate quote, and they just say it has already set it here as an anchor tag. So simply click on tweet, simply click here, guys. So you click, now it opens in a new tab, and then it has our tweet. If you look at the text here, it has it, and you can see it has, oh god, man, this is really good. So, and it has opened the nice pop-up, and it has this tweet: all experiences are preceded by mind having mind as matter of what. I'm not going to tweet this, but this is really great. Okay, so having done this, now already the app is looking really, really great. Okay, of course we could have here the loader. When someone visits the application, we don't want to show this one. Okay, so what we just say, we just want to put here, say click to generate. So let's just in the quote, let's just put something saying click the generate button to generate the new quote. So I'm just going to go here in a quote, remove this. Okay, you can remove this, and you can just say click the generate button, click the generate quote button to generate a new quote, as simple as that. Okay, so that will be the starting text. Click the generate quote button to generate a new quote for you. So what I want, if I click on generate, it should show me here generating. So you can even show a preloader showing that a new quote is being generated. So you can just change this one. We are going to change just the text. So let me just show you how we are going to do it. So here where we have on top here, where we are fetching the data, so we can just say when this function is fired, okay, here where it is actually loading the data, you can just put on top here, and we could just get the quote element. Where is the quote? So the quote element, we could first set it quote element is equal to and dot text content is equal to, we could just say loading or generating the quote, generating quote. Okay, and then you say dot please wait. So you could just say generating quote, please wait. Okay, please wait. Okay, the word please wait. Yeah, this is great. So like once say generating quote, please wait. Now you see it's not going to replace it, but if I click on generate quote like that, and you see actually it has generated so fast. So I'm saying don't wait the clock, do what it does, keep going. So say generating, and you see guys, it is showing that generating quote, please wait. So that is a good user experience. You don't want to simply click and someone is waiting for so long and there is nothing happening. You can at least put some text like that and simply put it on top here, okay, before we do any fetching of the data. And then down here they will again get that and replace it with the quote. Okay, that is as simple as that. Now, having done all this, the app is looking so much amazing. Okay, the app is looking so much amazing. You can design the quote the way you want. Okay, you can design the quote the way you want. For instance, you can even put a quote by. You can go ahead and put a quote by someone, and you can even turn this one to be a Bible verse. Okay, so on top here, I want to now start generating these quotes. Now I want to generate them not from this API. I want to create my own API, guys. This is how you can create your own API, and you can even go ahead and sell it. If I'm to show you, if you go to this marketplace called rapidapi.com, this is a marketplace where you can sell your API. Okay, you can create an API, and I'm just going to show you how these guys actually create the API. Okay, you can just create the API, and you see from rapidapi.com, this is a marketplace where they actually sell the API. Okay, so as it is still opening, Okay, it's still opening. I'm just going to show you that we can actually create our own something like this one. So you can see what we actually need from this. We just only need this this quote. You get, we are just only using this quote. We are not minding about all these other ones here. Of course, you could also put the author. Okay, you could also put the author if you wanted in your quote. In your quote, you could just go ahead and put the author. Seems I'm having issues with internet. I will keep on trying. So you could just go ahead and put maybe by someone. You put here in the corner down here, so that it is actually having copyright, like you really respect and give attribute to the one who wrote this code. But in this case, we are going to actually create something similar to this API. So for instance, we need an ID. Each quote should have an ID, and each quote should also have this content, which is actually the quote itself. And then we also can put the author. So we need three things: the ID, the content, and also we could also put the author. Okay, and you could even just go ahead and add even a category. Okay, the category, so that you can actually filter them, or you can even do them in the future. You can use that. So we can just have depending on what the quote you want it to look like. Okay, depending on what you want the quote to look like, you can generate more things, but the most important one is actually the quote. Okay, so let me just show you an example. What I would do is go to this. You see, guys, you can just minimize this. So to create this, I would just simply copy this. You can see this is something I can write on my own. This is just looks like a JSON. It is a JSON object, this one. Okay, this is a JSON what? This is a JSON object. So to create our own, okay, to create our own, we could create here a file. Okay, we could create here a file. First of all, we could generate very many quotes using ChatGPT. Okay, so all these quotes, they don't even exceed 20. The one you are seeing here, whenever we make a request, it generates a new one, but actually does not mean that there are so many. They can be even only 20, and you're just rotating through them. So the only thing is, we want to first have a list of quotes. Okay, so we can generate a list of quotes using ChatGPT. Now, to those ones, if you have not used ChatGPT, it is a language model, or it is just like an AI tool that people are using these days to write content and do a lot of stuff. Okay, you can do a lot of stuff, and in today's video, I'm just going to show you how we can create a JSON database using this amazing tool, ChatGPT. So for instance, want to get the quotes. Let's generate 10 quotes of this kind. It can generate for us the quotes of this kind. Okay, so I'm just going to say generate. So I'm just going to say write for me 10, okay, 10 best motivational. So you can even just say motivational quotes, 10 best motivational quotes, just like that. Write for me 10 best motivational quotes. Now, if you wrote this one, it would generate just 10 quotes, but now I want to give more prompt to this one, and you check out. So you say write for me 10 best motivational quotes. I'm just going to say, and give the response as a JSON as a JSON object, okay, as actually an array, just say as an array of JSON objects, okay, JSON objects, and each object with the following keys, and want to give it the keys. The first one, we want the ID, the second one is the content, and the third one is the author, okay, the third one is the author, and you can even put the fourth, which is the category where actually it belongs, okay. You could just even go ahead and ask it the character length and all that, but you just keep it simple: ID, content, author, and the category, okay, as simple as that. So just hit enter and let's wait for it to do what we have told it to do. Now I just only told it to generate 10. You can generate 100, guys. That's the good thing with this language model. You can generate, just told it only 10, but you can go ahead and generate more and more. You can just here put here, where I've put 10, you can put 50, then, or you can just put few. You can just put 10, 10, 10, 10 like that, or you can just put 100, and then it keeps on generating for you all those ones. Look at this, guys. You can see it has it the way we want. It has the ID, it has the content, it has the author, and it has even the category, okay. You can see all these ones. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of blah blah, and they give even the authors. So let me copy this. Simply just on top here there is copy to code, and guys, we have already seen that functionality. You can also do it in your application of copy to clipboard, okay. We have seen that one just in the previous video. If you have not watched it, check it out. So just simply copy here. I'm just going to go back to my file here, or in my project, create a new file, and I'm just going to call it quotes.json. Guys, I'm not naming it JavaScript, I'm naming it .json, okay. And then simply paste this, okay. Just go back, click to copy, and just simply paste this. So we have all our 10. You can just check them out. You can just see we have this. We have 1, we have 2, okay. I'm just going to tell it to generate 10 more. This is how you can just tweak it, okay. Just say generate 10 more quotes, okay. Generate 10 more quotes, just like that, and let's see. And this, guys, it is generating more 10 quotes. It's generating 10 more quotes, guys, and it is even continuing. So you can just even continue telling it generate 10 more until you get tired. Like, it can give you 1,000 and 1,000 if you want to continue and go ahead, okay. So I'm just going to go and copy this now. Just simply go inside here, copy these objects until this last one. Simply right click, copy, and then come here, go to the last one, which was actually 10. Just put a comma, and down here paste this one. So we have right now, just using AI, we have 20 quotes, okay. You can even generate it and you add more until the ones you want. So I'm done, and this is now becomes my API. So the question is, how do I use this API instead of using the one we used in JavaScript? So you can see how we have been using this API, okay. We have been using this quotable, and it was giving us only one quote, but now for us we have actually a lot of them, but we want still have the same functionality. that if someone comes to our application here and clicks on generate, it should generate a quote, only one, not all of them. Okay, it should give us only one. So how are we going to do that? So step number one, we have created the API, which is just like a JSON here. We created it using ChatGPT. Just we got this array of these quotes, okay, which has all these things we need. Okay, now that is step number one. Step number two is now going to JavaScript and we use our API. So let me just duplicate this to remain with a copy of the previous one. I'm just going to comment out to this first one. So now instead of using this one down here, I'm just going to come here and I put a link towards this JSON object. As simple as that. So remove this one. I'm just going to put // and I put quotes.json, like so. As simple as that. Now let's come down where we are fetching the data, which is here. Okay, now what we want to do is to actually console, before we put here this quote here, before we do all this thing, we want first actually see. So we want first actually console.log what is this, like what is this data look like. The first important thing is to understand your data. Here we have been using this quotable API. This link here we were using, the endpoint was giving us only one single what? It was giving us only one single quote. But now for us here we are having actually a list of quotes. By the way, if you want to see this in the browser, simply come here and put stock quotes.json and enter, and you are going to see we have an array of all these quotes. Guys, look at that. We have already the API, guys. We already have the API, and you can see here and how it is looking amazing. This is great. Okay, now what I want is to look at the type of data I'm having. We all know it is an array, but what we want to confirm is if it is fetching using this async, if it is just actually getting this one and bringing this data and we are getting it here. So before we go ahead and put it in the quote data.content and all these nice things, okay, we can just first confirm if we are actually getting the stuff. So I'm just going to just write another one just down here for testing purposes. So const, I'm just going to say here, and we can just call this function async. I'm just going to write, I will say async function, and this time let's call it fetch quotes. So you say fetch quotes. Okay, just I did not want to put it up there so that you don't get confused. Okay, so async function fetch quotes, and you know we start with actually const response, response, and the response is equal to await, and we are waiting to fetch from the API. As simple as that. So we just fetch from the API endpoint, and then from there we can have access to the data. So const data is equal to await, and we are waiting to convert just this response into JSON. Okay, into JSON, as simple as that. So we can just go ahead and actually console.log our data. And of course you can always wrap this in a try catch to catch the error. Just try catch here, and for the error part just simply say console.log something went wrong, here, and then also put the error out like so. let me just change it to match. So we access the error and we can just print out this error, and then on the try we actually do the fetch data. And I'm just going to come here and I say fetch quotes. So let me run this one here, fetch quotes, as simple as that. Let's go to console. Guys, look at that. We have an array here. The array is here, guys. You can see the array is here. Look at that. We have this. Now it is working as our API. Okay, guys, we have a working API. You can see it has right now 20 items, and these are the 20 items actually we have here. Okay, and everything is working properly. Now the question is, how do we get one single quote? Okay, how do we get one single quote? So in the quote, we have already the quote element. So now what I would want, const quote, if I wanted to get the quote from here, first of all, I have to access like one object here. I have to access only one object or one item inside here, this array. Remember, this is an array. Now to access items in an array, we can use, so can say const quote, const quote. Okay, I would get a quote is equal to data. So already I have the data, which is the array, and then I can say at 0 and this is an index. So this is the index 0, and it will give us the first quote. So if I say console.log now quote, let me just come down here, console.log quote, I want to say quote. Now if I just go down here, you see it gives us one single quote, guys. It gives us the one with ID 1. That is the first quote. If I want the second one, I would put 1 here, like so. You can see it is changing. Now it gives the one with ID 2. Now the question of the day is, how are we going to get this quote? So after getting this quote from here, we can of course now replace with our quote element. So I can just say quote element dot text content. Dot text content is it is dot here. Dot text content is equal to this quote, okay, which is equal to our quote, like that. And now I can just do that. You see it is running. By the way, this is, we want to say dot content here. Remember that this is an object. Okay, it gives us the object, and we can access this part of here of the feature belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And you see it is actually replacing it here. If I go and I change this one to 2, like that, you'll see it is going to load. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And you see it is actually having it here. So what you want is now to integrate this. So before we go further, we want it to be picking it randomly. Every time to be random. Okay? Every time it should run, it should pick for us. This index should be random. We are not going to be putting 2. We have no way how we are going to be changing in our app. So we want this one to be dynamic. This 2, instead of just being a figure like 3 or 6, we want it to be dynamic. And how do we do that? So we have a function in JavaScript. So I'm just going to say come here and I say const a random index. So random index, instead of just using a static index, we want to get a random index. Now we have this in JavaScript, this object of math, and you can say math.random. Okay, math.random. So this function generates a number. So this only one, it generates a number between 0 and 0.9. Okay, it generates a number between 0 and 0.9, which is just like random. I'm just going to come down here and say console.log random index, just like that. So if I just come down here, run, you see 0.19999, refresh, 0.39, refresh. So you see every time is generating a random number which comes from 0 to 0.9. Now to make sense out of it, we can multiply like a number, so like times 10. So if you multiply something like times 10, it will generate now a number from 1 to 9.99999. If I do that, now you see it is generating 3, refresh, generating 5, refresh, generating 1.3. So it will be generating numbers from 1 to actually to 9.9. So if you want to round off, we can wrap this. Okay, we can wrap all this map.random like this one. By the way, so instead of putting this 10 here, we can just put data.length. Remember, this data of ours is this number of quotes, and it is an array. It has all these quotes, and in the future we don't know how many we have, but we want just to be generating a random number between 1 and the number of quotes we have here. Okay, so what we can just do, we can just go back here. Instead of putting just 10, we can just say data.length, just like that. So if we do this now, let's just do this. Now you see we have 1.4. Just keep on, you see 11.99, 15. So but then we have these points, 0.4. Now we cannot have a specific index with this point. Okay, what we can also do is we can round off this one. So I'm just going to say another one for rounding off is math.flow. Okay, so we have on math, we can round off to the, now not rounding off to the nearest, but when we say .flow, if it is just something like 5.4, it takes it to back to 5. Okay, so if we say math.flow and then we are rounding off this random number of ours, now you will see that the point actually goes. So you see, like we have 10, we have 2, so keep on 18. Now it cannot reach on actually 20 because it is rounding down to the flow. So you can even add 1. Okay, you can just come to this one, and whatever it gets, you can add 1 so that it actually reaches 20. Okay, so the one it will give here, it will be up to 19. If you want to go up to 20, you can just simply add 1 so that it is actually adding that one. Because if you put a random number, let me first show you an example. If you have a random number between 1 to 20, now what it does, it keeps on rounding up to 19. So to make sure it is 20, you add 1 on whatever results you get. So let's go back here, and now you see we have 7, we have again 8, 18, we have 19. So this, you can see we have a random index. So instead of using a number here 6, instead we apply a random index. Look at that. So here I'm just going to use a random index. Now every time we run, it is going to randomly generate from our database. It will generate a random index, and then it will fetch data at a random index, which will be changing all the time. So you see now we have 3, which is the only way to grade work is love what you do. Just continue, refresh, You see that success is not what you have, but who you are. Guys, look at that. Now what we want is we want to put it back to this functionality. Okay, so carefully we want to put this back into this stuff we have on top here. Okay, so what we could do is simply copying some of these things here. Okay, down back to what? Back to this one. We have done this one. Okay, remember we have now a quote, so from the quote we can start from there. Okay, where we have the quote, just go back to where we have the quote, okay, so we have the quote here, you get. So simply copy all this from there up to here, as simple as that. Just copy this and then come to this function here. After this quote, I'm just going to paste this. Okay, so remember we have the quote. This one we don't need to repeat it. So we have the quote here. After getting the quote, we put it inside the quote element as a text content. Now we work on the tweet functionality, whereby we have this tweet text, which is encoding the quote. We create the URL, then we get the tweet link, and then we can also console.log the tweet URL and all this stuff. Okay, now instead where things change, okay, where things change here, instead of calling, so we have here generate btn. Instead of using fetch data, we are going to say fetch quotes. So fetch quotes, we call this function fetch quotes. Okay, and then even to this one, it still remains the same. Okay, this one does not change, the functionality does not change. Okay, so with only that, we have managed to actually still have all our functionality. Let's test it out. So we don't want this function now to run on its own, so simply take off this. Now go back, and you see here they tell you click the generate quote button to generate a new quote. So if I click now generate, you see your attitude determines your direction, and you can see they are telling us it is on the 10th. This is the ID 10. Let's go and check. Go to these quotes and scroll down. I want to confirm what we have on ID 10. Okay, by the way, that is 10, the index. That means it is this 11. Your attitude determines, your attitude determines your direction. You can see here on ID 11, which is actually index 10, is your attitude determines your direction. So guys, we are getting it from our API, not the one from online. So generate another one. Believe in the power of your dreams and they may come true. Now let's see, does it copy? And by the way, you see it even in our tweet, it has already put this one. Okay, if I click on tweet, it actually tweets this very one that we have created from our own API. Then now when I click copy, you see content copied to clipboard. Okay, and it even goes away. And now we can test by pasting it here. Paste, and you can see it is there, guys. Okay, so this is so great. Now with this, guys, you can create a lot of APIs. Okay, I want to see guys creating an application where someone can generate quotes, where someone can generate, so you can create another for generating Bible verses. Okay, if you come here and you say Bible verse daily, let's just say daily Bible verse, daily verse online, there is this verse of the day, there is all these things, guys. You can just go ahead and be creative, create an app that actually can do all this on your own. You get, you can do all this on your own. There is this verseoftheday.com, and its purpose is generating verses of the day. And you can do that, okay? You can do that to generate the verse of the day. I'm just going to show you in a second, okay? So you can see whenever Aaron enters the holy place, he will bear the name of the sons of Israel. So you can just go and look at this, okay? You can just go and look at this and then go to ChatGPT and generate an API which is going to create for you all these Bible verses, okay? It can create for us all these Bible verses, and then you create a JSON file where you can have all these ones, okay? Now, if you want to be doing it every day, like you have verse of the day and it is putting all these verses every day, you can still do it, guys. You can still do it. So we are going to see how it can generate verses by itself minus clicking. Like the next day, it changes this one on its own. Like it generates a new verse on its own, okay? For this time, we are going to use quotes, but if you want, you can generate a one for the verse, which has even this, where it comes from, okay? Guys, so I think we just do it as another episode. So in the next episode, guys, I'm just going to show you how you can create this one, okay? I'm just going to show you how we can create this one. Just something similar to this one, okay? So just watch in the next episode. I feel like this episode we have a lot we have covered, and I feel like let's just add the new one in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Just please subscribe to support us on our channel. See you in the next video.